So, we're in the virtual world. The Matrix has us.
Yeah, so funny thing about Corvo is that like it really pushed people to integrate with virtual reality, and so now I don't think many people know the difference between reality and the virtual.
What is
Even it,
Corvo?
what?
What is, what used to Corvo? What did you say?
What? That I don't remember anymore.
Oh!
That thing that that
Coronavirus. Yeah.
no, we
Corvo.
can't. We can't.
Oh,
You can't say, you
what
can't
is,
say that.
what is YouTube gonna do? Take away all 0 of our dollars?
You can't say that. They'll find us. Do you know all the work we went through to get here? To
I,
hide from them?
I had to hack into the Matrix directly. I lost my skin.
I lost my life. Oh, what the hell's happening?
What do you think is worse? To be stuck as a skeleton or stuck as a robot?
That's a good question. As a skeleton, you're undead, but as a robot, you're non-living.
The answer is skeleton because it's me, and I think you're worse.
Wow. Let me just put that there. Oh no!
So the plan was to do a oh nice, like a catch up of like what we've been doing in quarantine, kind of like special REEsponse podcast gone sexual, the musical extravaganza. But it took us like 2 straight hours to figure out how this fucking VR chat works at all.
Yeah, it's mostly not how it works, more to find avatars that we liked, because mostly can you fix that? I can't reach there. Thank you. Hey, give me that back.
Fine, here.
Thank you.
I can't.
All right, so it's mostly because we couldn't find avatars that we liked, because most avatars were of the
What's with... Okay, you might actually know this.
Yes.
Is this like a Japanese thing? Like a specifically Japanese fetish that anime girls have animal ears? Because, like, that's not a furry thing, right? It's humans that just have weird ears.
You don't. I can't answer this question, but now I feel offended. Oh, what's happening? I've exploded. Hold on. I can fix this. Nope, that's wrong. Cut the tape! Cut the tape!
Cut the tape. Oh, man. You really sold the pain. I really like that. Don't let anyone tell you you're not funny.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm back. Let me just... Okay.
So what we were going to talk about was the Inside Xbox thing, but we'll leave that till later.
Yeah, when we have more time to really sit down and discuss it. 'Cause there's a lot of things in there. Mostly, I guess the first thing we should talk about is that our hot take is that it isn't that bad.
No, I really... Is that even a hot take? Because we've already discussed this ad nauseum by ourselves.
I know, but apparently it is a hot take. Because have you seen the upvotes to downvote ratio?
No.
Yeah, it's something like last I checked, it was like 50-50, which on YouTube is absurd.
I'm leaning back in my chair, and I've got my arms on my armrest, but it makes me look like I have like rigor mortis or something. My skeleton body is deteriorating rapidly. I also don't have a beer.
It's very unlike you.
I'll have a beer.
What's my head doing? Is it forming into my body right now?
Kinda.
Yeah, I need to get probably a character model that sits a bit better, or maybe a chair that's not awful.
Dude, I don't even remember what you look like in real life now. You're just a robot now.
I mean, I've always been one. Don't you remember?
Yes.
Were- Did you just do a long stare into the camera as a joke?
No.
Jesus Christ. Oh God. So, this has already derailed horrendously.
As
So you know who you look like?
dump. Am I going to be offended?
No, I'm trying to remember the name. It's
Skeletor?
no, from the Late Late Show
Shit.
with Craig Ferguson.
There's a bomb. Get down. There's no time. Oh, hell yeah. Come to my place in New Hampshire. We throw beads and we go swimming.
Ah! Oh, I'm back. What's happening? Why am I up there? I'm down here. Oh, God!
Oh, man. Yeah. So, I don't even really know what to call this. I'll probably call it REEsponse, so, like, Scrumbumbulus will come watch, and we'll at least get a couple of people to tell us whether we think that this is a good idea or not.
I don't know. I have to figure out how the hell to get this to work without, like, because right now I'm sitting,
I'm also
behind,
sitting.
but I'm behind.
Oh, God! You're
I'm back
malfunctioning.
here. I feel like I'm puppeteering myself.
That's awesome.
I can't do that.
Yeah. So,
Yes. What else is on the docket for tonight?
for tonight, I mean, just what have you been doing in quarantine? Like, I would probably...
I'll be back. Continue on without me.
Like, I've been listening to a lot of music, and of course we could talk about the Mick Gordon fiasco. That's musical related. I've been watching some movies, shit like that. No!
All right, this might be better. Ah, that's much better. So how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you may know him from the Game Awards. It's... What's your name?
I'm not helping you.
I'm not helping you. Here to speak to...
So yeah, it's a lot of Apex. Not really. I haven't played Apex Legends in a while.
So, are you here to hawk a new skin? Mirage?
I can't deal with this.
Oh, God. So I've only seen him from the Game Awards. Is he that bad all the time?
Well, the joke is they didn't get it across very. Okay, hold on. Let me come back before I start talking more.
He's a...
I don't have any options. Okay. This is very strange.
You're just going to go away and come back with something ridiculous again.
No.
Oh, man.
Let me sit. Why? Why does this happen every time? I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. I didn't really fix it.
Nice.
Well, if I just inch myself forward a little bit, not far enough that I fall out, but... Okay, this should work for now. Just...
So while we have just like a couple of minutes, do you want to talk Mick Gordon?
Well, I guess so, but it's become a very interesting situation. Because did you read the open letter? That I forget. I think it was like one of the head guys from.
I got the gist of it.
Yeah. Well, what the hell's happening? Oh, what? Things are broken again. I'm back.
The gist is, from what I've been told at least, is that Mick Gordon signed a contract with deadlines which he failed to meet.
Yeah, well, it was a bit more than that. From the and this is all just from an open letter, so like none of this is particularly provable, but we don't really have a reason to like think that they are lying, but who knows. The order of events was that he had a contract to deliver something around like 12 songs by a certain date, and if he delivered more, you get a bonus, yada yada yada. He got close to that date. Mick Gordon approached him like, hey, so I only have blah 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 number of songs, so something like 4, and it's like, so like, can we extend the deadline? They're like, okay, we'll extend the deadline. We'll get to here. At that point, then they also had another guy, the head audio engineer from
Chad.
id. Well, from id to start.
I know about
that
at least.
Yeah, start working on his own thing, his own versions of the soundtrack, just like compiling things like because they already planned to have that in the first place. I think a number of the songs in Doom 2016 were done in that same way. Mick Gordon didn't compose the entire soundtrack, at least in terms of mixing it all together.
Right, there is a difference between mixing and composing. So
Yeah,
all
well,
songs that
right.
were mixed by Chad were still composed by Mick Gordon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because all the music in the game is all done by Mick Gordon. It's just mixing it for the soundtrack was a different process, as you probably already know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of. Then he came back, and it been like he ended up. I forget exactly what it was. Oh yeah, then the next deadline started approaching, and then Mick Gordon was kind of like still behind a little bit, and so he started working directly with Chad, as we'll call him.
Well, I think that is his actual name.
Oh, is it really? Okay,
Chad
fair
something.
enough. So yeah, he started working with Chad directly to get the stuff out there. To get it out there in time, and they did. So Mick Gordon got his, I think it was something like 12 songs out, and then but then like it was something like, because the soundtrack's huge compared to Doom 2016. It's something like it feels like it's like 60 songs. I think it's more like 30, but still, it's huge in comparison.
Yeah.
And so, like a vast majority of the songs in the Doom Eternal soundtrack are mixed by Chad, not by Mick Gordon.
They are game rips.
Well, yes, because the way it works is the audio designer, he doesn't have access to the official files that Mick Gordon does, so the ones that aren't compressed. Because when Mick Gordon sends over the soundtracks that are to be used in the game, they're already compressed. So it never sees the uncompressed versions.
I've found that a lot of video game soundtracks have their songs compressed as hell.
Yeah, it's probably to save space, also make it easier to pull up faster, so there's no issues with it.
They're louder and they have less complex tones, but that's fine, really.
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely it did that. I can definitely hear it in Doom Eternal soundtrack. Like, at least compared to some of the songs, I can just hear the compression, and it's a little disappointing that, like, because there's a lot of songs I would love to have heard the uncompressed versions of.
I would definitely encourage people to listen to the game rip of The Only Thing They Fear Is You, followed by the Mick Gordon mix.
Is there a Mick Gordon one out there of The Only Fear Is You?
Yes.
I need to find it because I need to look it up.
The difference is real.
Yes. Because I don't know if there is one for The Only Thing That Was Real. I'm pretty sure there is. Well, The Only Thing That Fear Is You, but I know there are comparisons you can find. But yeah, the difference is it's really massive. Although you generally have to have some, like, not like good headphones, but headphones that at least have a bass in them.
Yes, I mean, if you want me to get on my soapbox for a minute, I am not a huge fan of compression. The way it's used nowadays, just to make things kind of louder. Like old bands getting, I wonder if I can do this, remastered versions of their songs, it's louder and less interesting. Like, if you listen to Roundabout versus Roundabout 20, like the 20 something remaster, like, Roundabout is so clean. And the Roundabout remaster, like, it comes through your headphones better because it's fucking louder. Like, it's clear as a bell, but it's not as interesting.
you'll lose some of the finer points in terms of some of those like
Yes.
not as good remasters.
And from what I've
But
seen on
there are
YouTube,
yeah.
from what I've seen on YouTube, oh, of course, there are always people that like put in the time and the money to remaster their work, and it's like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Mhm.
But from what I've heard of the YouTube video that has the most views that says Mick Gordon mix, which means I'm fairly confident that it is the Mick Gordon mix,
Mhm.
because a lot of
Oh,
people are
yeah.
like, oh, this is yeah, you know.
Yeah.
There is a like the composition of the song is also slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the I I hope future Austin does this in editing so I don't sound ridiculous. But like the game rip, it'll just go the drop starts and it goes like it just goes straight into it.
Yeah.
But in the Mick Gordon mix, that first note just kind of rolls violently in like wow instead of I don't
Oh,
know how to explain it, but there are subtle differences in the actual composition.
oh, okay, fine. Here, I'll demonstrate. So this is what like with compression. And then and then the Mick Gordon one is gonna be.
Yeah. And then the other one's like and then Mick Gordon's like I don't know how Mick Gordon does it, but his
Also,
juxtaposition between like heavy bass line and really like whiny melody, like
it's amazing.
generally I would say it's the worst thing I've ever heard, but for some reason the Doom soundtrack is amazing.
He really does a good job of getting like what sounds like good music out of visceral chaos.
Yes.
Because you might know more about this because you're more music than I am. Because I don't know if you've watched it because he put out like a 2-hour stream like during like after like the big quarantine started, and just was like, okay, we're just gonna chill and play some Doom music, and I'm gonna talk about the Doom process a
I
little bit.
didn't watch it, but I am going to.
I highly recommend it. He was talking about how he specifically for Doom invented what he calls a Doom compressor.
Oh, I saw
And
he did like a weird like pseudo like TED talk. Like he was
Mhm.
like talking at a university or something. I watched
Yeah,
all of that, but that was for 2016.
yeah. So I think this one may have had a few tweaks. Either way, it sounded different than the one that because I watched that TED talk as well. Um, but what was it? I think the one might be a GDC conference, but either way, in the news stream,
Yes.
yeah, it like because he was going to another he was going either way, he was going to it again. But the Doom compressor, all it does is it just like it takes every noise, every note, and just like fucking squashes it,
Yeah.
and it becomes like chaotic, but in like a weird way, and it sounds. He puts like through like really simple noises, and it comes out kind of interesting. It's really weird.
It's erratic but interesting tones
Hmm.
make the new Doom soundtrack so interesting. And I think like Mick didn't hit his deadlines. That is a fact.
Yeah,
But
and
at the
honestly, what
same time, the level of like intricacy he's working with here, I kind of understand why.
yeah, and it's definitely like historically, Mick Gordon apparently hasn't been very good at hitting the soundtracks, which I mean makes sense. He like if you watch the stream, it'll make sense because 90% of the stream is him like, okay, where did I put this again? Is it here? No, 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 no. Is it here? No, no. Like he's inorganized. He's like what you can probably call it an artist through and through. He's like I just like making
Yes.
music,
He is unorganized and his songs have so much shit going on.
and also because you know how like they make the music for Doom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's literally just like this is the intro. This is chorus A, B, and C. The game will randomly and pick the A, B, and C depending on how you're performing in the game, and then it'll either go into a bridge or like a build, or it'll go into a down based if your combat's getting more intensive, less intensive, or staying the same.
And at some point, Devil Trigger will play.
Yes, because it just has to like it has to go through all this random shit.
God damn it, we
Well,
literally can't not mention Devil May Cry.
I mean,
That one was me. That was my bad.
it's a good series. It's
It
a good
is.
game.
It is good.
Devil May Cry is good.
I think my final word on the whole Mick Gordon thing is that he needs to be fed humble pie a little bit because he signed a contract and didn't meet the deadlines.
Yeah.
But
The only thing that's up in the air is that like we don't know what caused him to be a little bit bitter about the situation because like for the most part everything seemed to be amicable
amicable, yeah.
when they broke and made the soundtrack. I like my gut feeling. This is based off literally nothing else than me thinking out about it. It is the reason that he might be a little upset about it is that he didn't know the soundtrack first off was going to be huge. And then because it's huge, it ended up being that the majority of his music that he composed ended up being mixed by someone else. It's also heavily compressed versions of the music he made, and also mixed in ways that he wouldn't have mixed it. And so he just kind of like he probably feels a little bit like his music was butchered, even though I'm sure he understands that like, well, I didn't, I could have done it, but I didn't. I trolled the line. I tried to like make the songs I was making really good without doing everything, which would have been maybe impossible, but still.
Right. But I think here, like, I don't know if it would be in its best interest to do this. I mean, Bethesda certainly won't. But I think the old adage applies here. You can get something done fast, or you can get something done right. And if you get something done fast, people will be more likely to buy your product. But if you get something done right, people will be more likely to buy the next product you make too.
Yeah.
And Mick Gordon's mix of The Only Thing They Fear Is You is done right.
Yeah. Basically, we really should have known this was going to happen the second they announced that the collector's edition was coming with the soundtrack, because that put a very hard and early deadline on the soundtrack.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That
really should have tipped me off. But I didn't think about it.
Yeah. Well, you can get the Gordon mixes on YouTube, and let's be completely honest here. Compressed or not, the Doom Eternal soundtrack is awesome. In some cases, the compressed versions sound angrier.
Yeah,
and in some cases, I'll be like, you know what? If I go search for a Doom soundtrack, I'm like, I want to listen to something that makes me want to punch something.
Oh yeah.
So
every fucking time.
So I'll listen to the Mick Gordon mix, and I'm like, this is amazing. I love listening to this. This makes me happy. But if I want to listen to anger music, like, I'll listen to Doom 2016. I'll listen to Hellwalker. Like, like at a certain point, I understand that when it comes to that kind of loud, angry music, the kind of stuff that we appreciate, like the differences in tone, it's not really going to matter. Which is why Mick didn't. What are you doing? Which is why the game soundtrack was fine, rather than the OST.
Yeah.
Because in the game, it's literally just hard anger music all the time.
We talking about Eternal or 16?
Both, technically.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure. There's a lot of actually slower and quieter soundtracks and songs.
There are some
in Eternal that are really quite good.
There are some quiet strings during the See, I haven't memorized any of the names of the lore in Eternal because it's all brand new and I kind of don't care.
We'll save that for another. We have to save that for another stream. We're gonna have a Doom Eternal talk because we have very different and polarizing opinions on this.
What the fuck is it? The play basically in Doom Guy's vault. I like that song.
The Sanctuary.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, the main menu music in that game, I fucking love.
Yeah. By the way, if we're gonna talk about video game music, while I was in quarantine, I played. Well, we're on the very end of it, I think, but we're still in quarantine.
No, yeah.
We'll
be here for a while, but we're getting to the end of
any
issues with it.
There is no coronavirus in in the Matrix. The virtual world is Sans illness entirely. I'm already dead, actually. But I feel as though I would be reticent not to talk about Ori.
Oh, in the Blind Forest?
Will of the Wisps is what I've been playing. I played Blind Forest when it came out.
The new one?
I'm such a junkie for those games. They're like platforming bliss. A Shadow over Inkwater Marsh is an incredible track. I like, it's so good. And I hate that I don't remember the name of that composer. I have like a couple of composers that I adore, but I don't remember the names of, and I'm like sad about that. The composer for Ori, like people, are you sniffing that marker, you junkie?
No, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm just being safe.
I didn't know what you were doing. Fuck, that's funny. Oh shit, you're funny.
Dude, social distancing. We maintain that, but I gotta.
I removed all of my organs. You can't get any safer.
You don't know if there's a virus right there, so you know it.
But like the composer for Ori, like people love him so much that during the E3, where
yes,
during the E3 where not it wasn't announced, but it was shown again.
Yeah,
because that game took forever to come out. They actually brought the composer out to play one of the tracks from the new game on piano, like it's like Sony shit. And he played a track, and then it gradually went into the trailer, and it was beautiful. And the game is also awesome. And I don't know his name, and I hate myself for it. Also, the composer for Joker. That lady, don't remember her name, and I'm beating myself up about it.
What's her name? It's like, you can't Google anything in the Matrix.
No. Well, I can.
It's like Hilda.
Yeah. Something.
Hilda. I forget.
Nailed it.
And it's really good.
The strings in that bathroom scene when the Joker is dancing haunt me.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, we could talk about that movie forever, but we're not going to.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, that could be another one. We're just doing random things right now.
Like the perpetual metaphor in that fucking, like, there's metaphors all over the place. Like generally in traditional ballet, dancing by themselves is considered, or like dancing as you move along is considered an allegory for transformation, or how he takes like cocoons himself inside that refrigerator to both shut himself off, and also like another allegory for transformation. Like, there's so much more going on in that movie. And did you see this SNL bit where they do a song about don't?
Oh, do they make fun of it? Oh, I think I did see that, and it was like awful and missed the point. But I mean, that's SNL nowadays.
I feel like
that's good enough.
It's so easy to just take the Joker at face value, because so many superhero or comic book adjacent movies are to be taken exclusively at face value.
It's true, yeah. Like, I guess you can make an argument of like the water's a bit polluted, so people like don't really go into a movie that's either superhero, supervillain, and think that they can think about the movie.
Could you imagine being one of the people that's like, yo, I love the Joker, Batman kicks ass, and going into the Joker? It'd be like walking into From Dusk Till Dawn not knowing about the vampires.
It would be, you're right. Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I like Batman, Joker, I'll go watch a Joker movie.
And like the first scene of the movie, Joaquin Phoenix is on the ground crying while being beaten up by children. That is a rude awakening.
God, I don't like a little off topic. We should move on after this. But did you see there's criticisms of the movie talking about like, oh man, that's so unrealistic. Why, like, what are these kids doing? Why would they steal someone's sign? And you're like, because they're kids that live in a city.
Why do kids just walk around and like kicking over people's trash cans? Like in the South, like kids get drunk and then they like destroy people's mailboxes with baseball bats. It happens, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, but like where humanity, like where normal people with regular ego, regular superego, regular id, and the joke, and what the fuck? Oh no, what was his name?
What?
Fleck. Differ
Arthur Fleck, yeah.
is that he takes every interaction with people to heart.
Yeah, and that's definitely that's like one of like the one of the themes that runs the movie is all about social interaction and how we interact with other people and how that can actually affect the other person.
Like he has no positive experiences except for one like 30-second interaction which he latches onto so hard. Like he psychotically imagines an entire relationship with that woman.
Yeah. And like the movie's not exactly subtle about some of those things too, because like there's also the other scene where he basically say it like, why
is everybody so rude? Yeah.
Or no, but the one with the midget.
Yeah, you were the only one who was ever nice to me.
Yeah.
But it's so easy, especially in large cities, to just get this nihilistic worldview that like sometimes you got to be like, dude, yeah, some people suck, but it's not everyone, man. Take a vacation. Like, that's technically in the DC. Sit down.
I'll be back. I realized why everything was being awful. Just keep talking.
So, like, a weekend at the Kent's farm.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the kind of good it would do for that poor fucker?
Oh,
sunshine, nice people. Like peace and quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Like this, he genuinely feels like he doesn't have access to any of that. And at some point, he either forgets they exist or never knew it in the first place. He kind of feels like the city is his fucking prison.
Yeah, well, you can really definitely make an argument where he like never really, maybe not knew happiness, but didn't know like real kindness, because even his mom is kind of mean to him.
His mom had a lot of problems.
And then you also learn there's some backstory with it that make it even worse. You like it makes you hard to imagine a time in Arthur Fleck's life where he could have been happy or felt self-fulfilled in any way. But I think we're going pretty deep into this. I think we should probably move on.
Yeah, probably.
Into this so hard. We literally. How do we start here? We're just like, oh yeah, Joker.
That's what we do, man.
I know. But okay, but in terms of real dockets, I really definitely do want to have a real discussion about Doom Eternal, because we have a lot of things to say about that in terms of because you love everything they changed about it from 2016. Do you have any negatives? Because I don't think you do. I don't want to don't want to mischaracterize you or whatever.
There's more story in Doom Eternal, and I don't give a fuck about it. But every aesthetic change, every gameplay change, I loved.
Yeah, and then for me, there's a lot of things I don't like. Nothing in terms of gameplay. I'll just be fair here. I love it. It's the most cleanly played thing I've ever played in my goddamn life. But I don't like the floating guns. They're bad. I don't like it.
I love it.
Moving on.
Dude, I wanted him, like, I wanted him to pick up an extra life and be like, I am Turok! Like, that's how far I wanted it to go.
Good God. Yeah, Mark, get out of here.
Dude, Turok. Hugo Martin, get on it.
Oh, God.
I want to see Turok on my desk by 2022. Get on it. Where'd your head go? You got problems, boy.
Hello? I'm back. Okay.
I want Turok... No, sorry. I want Turok 2016 on my desk by 2021.
Oh, it's still there. Okay, confession time. Like, this entire time, there's one hair stuck in my VR set that's just tickling my nose, and it's driving me insane.
I thought you were a robot.
I mean, the flesh is weak. But deeds endure.
I did it again. I set up another editing joke.
Oh, God. Ah!
Yeah, I don't really have too much else to talk about without, getting into the Inside Xbox thing.
I know, yeah, that's going to be...
Like, that's like an hour and a half conversation right there.
Oh, big.
Because
big
once
time.
we,
And then Doom one, who knows how long that'll go.
Yeah, because, like, you talk about Inside Xbox, you talk about the games that were shown, you talk about, like, when we're talking about, like, releases for, like, a third-party lineup, do we really need to give a shit about gameplay? Oh, no, there weren't any exclusive. Oh, no, Xbox lost E3 again. But they're not showing any of their exclusives until June. The PS5 also had a very poor showing. Not that it fucking matters.
No, yeah. So one thing we can talk about real quick, because it wasn't anything in the Inside Xbox, and I guess this can be like a... Oh, God, I don't even want to say that. A teaser. Oh, my God, get excited, guys.
Scorn is real.
But Halo Infinity.
Right.
Do you have any faith? Do you want it to be good? Do you want 343 to keep trying to make Halo games? Or
Absolutely.
Do you want to give it to studio? Okay.
Well, who would you give it to?
I have no idea. That was a hypothetical question that I have no answer to.
I don't really want Bungie to take over Halo again, because I don't know what's going on with Destiny, but I don't want to have to pay for, like, every bit of Halo. I want to pay $60 every year, like 2 years or so. That's how I will consume my Halo.
Yep, that's fair. At this point, it definitely seems, even though, like, obviously a lot of people that made Halo really don't work at Bungie much anymore.
Oh, that's right. A couple of the Halo guys are making that like RTS action game hybrid thing where you float around on, like, the floating gun platform and tell people to shoot stuff. The fuck is that game called?
I have no idea. I've seen... my memory tells me of that things like exist, but I have no memory.
Future Austin, if I'm not full of shit, play that trailer right now.
Right away.
Thank you.
Well, don't put it... No, oh, fuck it. Who cares about copyright?
We're YouTube friendly.
I made this.
That's going up on the fridge. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm glad. I worked really hard on that.
But Halo Infinite is, like, of course I want it to be good.
Oh yeah. Like, do you think it will be good though? Because how long has it been in development now that they haven't talked anything about it? Is the question actually.
I think Halo 5 was such a disaster.
Yeah.
That if you work at 343, you can't not know why you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you can't not know specifically what the problems are with that game, because people will have told you that ad nauseum.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that makes me a little hopeful is it's very clear that they know they fucked up with Halo 5.
I also know, shit, it was so long ago, but the dude who directed Halo 5 no longer works there, and the guy that did stuff for Halo 4 is now working on Infinite in, like, a powerful position.
It's something like that.
And I prefer 4 to 5.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
the thing about 4, I think we talked about this before. The thing about 4 is it has like what they did with Chief. I love the characterization they went with Chief in terms of everything. Actually, everything they did with Chief was really good and actually quite like I don't want to use the word nuance because I use that fucking ad nauseum as it is.
I'm
But it
so
was
sorry.
what
I've said ad nauseum twice, and now you're doing it. I'm so sorry.
I know, but it was good. The way like I'm trying to remember, I haven't played it in a while. Because once they announce Halo Infinite, I might go back and play 4 and 5. Actually, play 5 for the first time in my life. I haven't played it yet. But either way,
Don't. It has like it has nothing.
I know I'm gonna play it though. I have to.
Find a save file.
I played Turning Point, Fall of Liberty.
And I played Time Shift. All right. You might be thinking of Singularity.
Oh, fair enough.
Raven Software, we miss you. Please, somebody. if you know a Raven Software developer, give them a hug. They need it.
Ugh.
Where's Hexen?
What was I saying?
Hugo Martin, Hexen, get on it. I want that on my desk, 2023. With a Heretic expansion.
What was I talking about 2 seconds ago? I've already forgotten.
I'll build on it. I think that exploring Master Chief's humanity was a great way to go after the events of Halo 3. I think
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
like that idea was amazing. But all of the other shit that needed to happen in a Halo game to make a Halo game just kind of felt secondary.
Everything to do with the die deck and the Forerunners was awful. Particularly because even though like I'm sure it may have existed in the books beforehand, everything about the Forerunners, the fact that they are different, that they weren't humanity, that they hate humanity, yada 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 yada. But the thing is the way they introduced it in Halo 4 is awful because they don't. They go, the Forerunners are here. This is the die deck. He's a Forerunner. He wants to exterminate humanity now because he hates humanity because of some long grudge. And you're like, but why? And you're like, the game's just like, fuck it, go shoot him.
I think you can make the die deck work a little bit.
You can't. No,
could you little tiny fixes to the story, or like just the game in general that would have at least made my experience. There would have been a little bit. Was that my first ultra flub on the entire channel? Maybe.
Yeah, that's how I live my life.
Would have at least made my... there would have been less moments where I was like, okay, that was dumb. Like, could you imagine if at first, like, you happen across some Covenant and you're all swept onto this planet and you're all under attack by what might be Forerunner forces, but you're not sure. And you and the Covenant are working together, and then the Didact shows up. And, like, some of the Covenant are like, oh my god, he's real. And then they go back to being religious fanatics. The Covenant turn on you because they think there's a better option. Rather than you open a door and an elite attacks you, and Master Chief's like, I thought we were at peace with the Covenant. And Cortana goes, nah.
I forget. Yeah, I forget actually how they explained that in 4.
They explain it that some of the Covenant knew what the Didact was, and they were like, oh wait, no, the Forerunners are cool, like space Jesuses. And I'm gonna do religion again. Like, we're gonna do a bunch of religion, because, like, they're one of our gods is real. Oh shit, are you making us a special guest?
He was here the whole time. I just gave him physical form. He was talking to me that he really wanted to join.
I have created life.
Now, Data, I want you to dismantle your daughter.
No, we can't talk about Star Trek. If people are like, yo, like, play VR stuff, and we end up playing Star Trek Bridge Crew, then I will get on my soapbox and talk about Star Trek Picard.
Well, if we play Star Trek Bridge Crew, Mac will be there, and I don't think he'll care to hear that. But
it won't matter to me. I'm like, hey, Mac, did you know that Paul Kurtzman fucking loves ninjas? And he's like, you've said that before.
Did you know
What?
Did you know that? Oh, what's his name?
Alex Kurztman.
Did you know that Alex Kurztman loves ninjas?
You know, I hadn't heard.
Okay. One thing I'll say about that is, how many episodes are we on that?
Either
Hold
6 or 7. We're in the second half of the season.
And how many ninja attacks have we had?
1 per episode.
And/or assassinations?
Like assassinations or full-on ninja assaults. It has been 1 per episode. Oh, man.
I think we should start wrapping this up here.
I do, too.
I need to get to sleep.
I'd like to thank our special guest, Coronavirus. And Pillow. What else did you draw? Hold on. Is that Randy Savage? Oh, it's Doom Guy. And a Pepper. Oh, it's Joker. Way to take context clues based on what we've been talking about. Hey, did you ever come up with a name for that? Oh my god!